Hello, I'm recording this on September 11th, and that means two things. The wonder of the night sky is not the vastness of it, but that we can chart and understand that vastness. And it's time for the Darkness News Update. I'm Scott Wachter. Let's get into it. We're all about sleep this week. We're talking about how night shift work is associated with memory issues in the middle-aged. This is a new study from PLOS ONE. And what was I talking about again? Okay, what I can remember is that poor sleep cancels the cognitive benefits of exercise, particularly in Parkinson's and dementia patients. Fewer than 6 hours of sleep in a night will basically cancel out or negate any of the benefits you get from moving around during the day. Health tracker bands are mismeasuring your sleep. Fitbit, in particular, is bad at estimating how long it takes you to fall asleep and your overall sleep time. This is a study from Texas in Austin. The ESA, the European Space Agency, is testing a new circadian-friendly lighting system on the ISS. Astronaut Andreas Morgensen will be the test subject for this. There's actually already commercial grade circadian lighting solutions available based on ISS tech now, and it's just about finding new ways to improve that. But I don't need to tell you the value of a well-funded space program, I suppose. Softlights Foundation has been working on a petition to the FDA to end the use of headlights on cars. That petition has now progressed to the point where it's available for open comment. Those comments are open right now. There is a link in the description if you have any interest in weighing in on the possibility of ending the use of LEDs on headlights at night. That would be probably pretty good for a few people. All right. I told you this was about sleep, but we're also going to talk about international politics. In this case, the U.S. Government Accountability Office has issued their report on border infrastructure harms. They surveyed 450 miles of border fencing and walls in New Mexico, noting serious damage to migratory bird flight patterns, the lifestyles of foraging animals that live in the region, among a number of other issues. South of that border, conservationists are seeking protections for fireflies in Mexico. The International Union for Conservation of Nature is actually seeking new tourism rules for firefly mating season. And Canadian Border Services is bolstering infrastructure, including lighting at 11 different crossings across the Canada-US border. We have no word on if they're following U.S. Customs and Border Patrol's lead and doing impact assessments before new lighting. I did email them. If they email me back, I'll let you know. All right, let's talk about animal news and some more science with circadian disruption leading to inflammation in rats. This is a study from Comenius U showing that all-day exposure to light leads to kidney inflammation and other inflammations. Again, in rats, this probably transfers to other mammals pretty easily. We have a study from Oakwood University showing that circadian disruption, again, all light, full day lighting, changes activity patterns in mice, leading them to run their little wheels at all hours, exercise at all times. That's probably not great. We have a message from the United States Fish and Wildlife Department saying that nocturnal pollinators would really like it if you dimmed or extinguished all light at night. They would really like that if you did that. We have a new study from the French National Center for Scientific Research showing that lighting from the shore is leading to oysters opening up at night to try and feed, and that's exposing them to predation and disease. And again, oysters don't have eyes, so it's interesting to find that they will be, they still react to light. Speaking of molluscs with no eyes reacting to light, a group of British scientists have found that if you put lighting inside a typical crab catcher cage, you actually catch scallops that way, which on the one hand, that does mean more light at the bottom of the ocean, but it also saves scallop fishers from dredging, which is bad. So we might just be trading something really bad for something kind of bad, and I don't know how to feel about that. Leave a note in the comments. Speaking of notes in the comments, Mont Tremblant in Quebec in the Laurentian Mountains has partnered with La Société des Établissements de Plein Air on a project with Dark Sky International to get the park recognized as a dark sky place. Canada's a bit weird, where some regions will partner with Dark Sky International, and some regions will partner with the more local Royal Astronomy Royal Royal Astrological Society of Canada. And I don't know why. I assume it's hot. There's hot gossip involved. Please speculate wildly in the comments. Dark Skies Cumbria in the UK has actually published a technical advice note, so the experts that did the project have issued a guidebook for rural community lighting that you can use in your own communities, probably. Wilkesboro, North Carolina will not be proceeding with a development on their riverside. Shopping, dancing, dinner, probably a theater or two. This is a big economic project, but they won't be adding any lighting to their riverside until they do a wildlife assessment, and that's very responsible of them, and we should praise that. Andover, Massachusetts has voted against adding lighting to a sports field at a high school, citing concerns for the neighborhood. Dripping Springs, Texas, is joining in on the Texas Audubon Lights Out program for fall migration season. Alpine, Texas, has cut light pollution by 20% over the past 3 years. This is part of a 5-year plan to really help out the nearby McDonald Observatory. Greenwich, Connecticut, is proposing a ban on landscape lighting and altering signage bylaws, but it will probably only apply to new constructions and renovations going forward. Hayburg, Utah, is planning a new LDS temple, and that's getting some pushback. The town has already amended lighting bylaws to allow for uplight on a 210-foot steeple, but locals are using petitions to try and prevent a final approval on this. Again, I want to remind everyone, neither myself nor anyone in this organization has a particular ecumenical or social beef with the LDS. We just have, what we can assume is a pretty thorough list of human and wildlife conservation concerns about uplighting. Just want to be clear on that. I want to be clear. No harm meant to the Mormon community at all. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, is opting to switch out their street lighting for 3,000K LED street lighting. So 3,000 is about the middle of the road. It's kind of warm. The initial plan was for 4,000, which is even bluer. But again, a reminder that anything under 2,700 is probably preferred. And in Essex, in the UK, a new parking lot by a train station in Manningtree. That parking lot is brighter than the entire town. Thanks. I hate it. Things I don't hate are when people do donate to the Light and Darkness Foundation. The Lighting and Darkness Foundation is why I get to do this. And whether it's a one-time donation or recurring, that's great. If you can't do that, please recommend the show to a friend. Maybe they've got the $10 we need. Either way, I want to thank you for your time. Have a good week.